How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome back to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. I'm joined here by Momma Sammu and another episode for Get to Know That Cosplayer. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm doing pretty good today. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So before we begin, who are you cosplaying today?
I am dressed up as one of my more recent favorite characters, Imogen, from Critical Role. Actually, I'll put on her gloves because she has these weird gloves things. But yes, I'm just Imogen Timmelt from Critical Role Campaign 3. It's one of my quite a few Critical Role cosplays. Just my most comfortable costume. I wear her a lot. So.
Nice. I've noticed you do quite a few Critical Role cosplays, and I'm sure throughout this interview we'll find out the other ones you've cosplayed. So to begin, how long have you been cosplay for, and what got you into cosplay?
Uh, I have been cosplaying for, let me do the math here, 16 years. I was 14 years old and I just recently turned 30. And actually, weirdly enough, I had been costuming at sci-fi fantasy conventions before that. My parents, they staffed sci-fi fantasy conventions locally. So I was staffing conventions from the time I was 8 years old. And of course, I would take every chance to dress up because who doesn't want to have a dress up day every day? Like,
So you are what I would put in the category as a cosplay veteran. You've been cosplaying for over 10 years, so you've seen since you've been cosplaying since eight and everything. You've seen the drastic change over the course of 20 years of conventions and cosplay.
oh, absolutely. It has been a massive change. And we have so to kind of circle back to the what got me into cosplay. So what got me from kind of costuming to cosplay? Because I was just a kid. We would go to mom and I would go to Goodwill, find cheap dresses like $5, $10 prom dresses people had given away, and I would throw on a pair of horns or wings and be a demon or fairy or something. And then I got into anime, and a friend said, "Hey, there's a local convention, KimuraCon. We should go." It was the summer before my freshman year of high school, and I went, "Why not? Let's do it." And then I realized, wait, you can dress up as specific characters, and there are people my age. Oh my gosh, there are people my age. I think that's what really got me to stick with it. And then I started competing when I was about 21, and I realized I wanted to learn more. I wanted to push myself. I wanted to be able to just make the cool things that I saw going across the stage when I was a child. Like I watched the masquerades at sci-fi cons and was like, I want to wear something like that, and now I do.
I mean, from what I've seen, you're pretty well known on Instagram and TikTok with your cosplays.
I always feel weird when people say I'm well known. It is so weird for me because I have been doing it for so long, and for me, it feels like I'm just a dork making in costumes, just trying to make friends, and at this point, spread the love of costumes and get
There's
everyone to
nothing.
know that everybody can do it. Anybody
Uh,
can do it, any skill level.
As I always say on here, there is nothing wrong with that. And from what I've actually seen, you're going to be a guest of honor at ComiCon this year.
Yes, I am. I will be. I have been going to KimuraCon since I was 14. That was my first time cosplaying, and they have had me as their MC for the past. For this is my second year as the official MC, and I've been hosting their lip sync and cosplay contest for 4 years now.
Nice.
Yeah, lip
Uh,
sync for 5. Yeah.
nice. What was your very first cosplay back then when you officially started this, I should say?
Okay. Anybody who knows this series is gonna go, "What the heck were your parents thinking?" But I dressed up as Chi from Chobits. Yeah. Anybody who knows that series is kind of like, uh, uh. But I wanted to wear a fluffy dress, and she was adorable, and I got to have super long princess like blonde hair, and got to be adorable. And I still cosplay as Chi. I've done a bunch of different outfits of hers over the years. She's one of my favorite characters, and
Now, who is she again?
So Chobits is a show that I'm gonna say back then we classified it as a bit of an ecchi anime, a little bit ecchi, which is a little bit pervy, cause
I mean, what anime wasn't back in the 90s?
right, it's Clamp, it's older Clamp. Damn, when I cosplayed it, it was newer Clamp. Ouch. Uh,
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about
yep,
now.
yep, yep, yep. The gotta press the button to turn on the computer.
I mean, I'm not
Um,
gonna just gonna
yes, I actually made that exact outfit for a friend of mine. My friend commissioned me to make that exact outfit for her because she also cosplays Chi, and we do Chi and Freya together. I've competed in a Freya outfit because Freya is a twin sister of Chi, and I still also
Oh,
have
I take
made
that
an
back. It came out in the early 2000s. My bad.
yeah, early 2000s. I started cosplaying in 2006.
Freya
So
Shobits and this would be
that would be Freya. I've
okay.
cosplayed as that character because they're twin sisters.
Okay, I mean, I can see,
Yeah.
I can see the similarity. Blonde hair, same face. Just
Hmm.
one's one's
So it,
vanilla, the other is dark chocolate.
if you want something, the thing is they're the pastel and the goth essentially. That's how I see it as, and which is kind of funny because I'm now like I dress up as Imogen and in Critical Role, their other half on everybody's pushing for them to get together is the goth girlfriend and Imogen's the pastel.
Who's the goth for wise for?
Uh, Laudna is
I'm
in
gonna be
Critical
looking up a
Role as
lot
the
of
goth. She's very fun. She is very spooky, fun, scary.
Laudna critical.
Yeah.
Okay, I spelled it wrong. Oh, okay, I've seen. Oh, I've seen you cosplay her before. I think
That is actually my girlfriend
girlfriend.
cosplaying. Yes, my
Yes.
girlfriend cosplays as Laudna and made
Yeah,
the outfit for her so we could be pastel and goth
yeah.
girlfriends.
I've seen a picture of you guys on I think your or her Instagram. I think.
I've put them they're on both, I believe. But yeah, I've definitely posted them, and that's the best part about like. So funny enough, I have known my girlfriend for over 10 years, and we've only been together for about a year, but like we've both been cosplaying for a ridiculous amount of time, and now like being still in it, it's kind of fun getting to now like cosplay together. Now when we're kind of older, going okay, yeah, one cosplay day. Wait, you're doing three
Mm.
youngins, how? Where's the energy? Remember when we were that?
Yeah,
Like, we'll
we could
compare
do
stories
that.
of remember when I did 2 to 3 costumes a day and, was up until 2 a.m. And then I would wake up at 6 to 7 to get into costume for that 9 a.m. photo shoot. And no, not anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm out of the hotel room by 11 if I'm lucky.
con crunch is real, especially if you're an adult.
Hmm. Yeah, it's we got totally just wiggling around there, but for what my first cosplay was, but yeah.
Um,
Chi from Chobits.
so and you did her at KomoriCon. What was going to KomoriCon like back then? Because I've heard a few stories. What it was like when it first kind of.
It was very freeform. I didn't really attend many panels, and weirdly enough, I was attending alone because my parents, they're con goers. They're like, "Oh yeah, we know someone who's on staff. They'll look after you. You're fine." So I
Like,
didn't
thanks,
go
mom and dad.
like legit. Like they said they signed the permission form, and there was someone literally on staff who had known me since I was a baby. So
This kind of runs in the family then.
absolutely. Like I am a second generation convention attendee. I am very proud of that. Or second generation con staffer at that. Um, and technically third generation geek because my grandpa was a Trekkie. So,
Nice.
um, but God, sorry, totally lost train of thought there. Oh yeah,
KomoriCon first
back then,
time.
early Con. It was intense because it was a lot more people that I had seen because the conventions that I gone to before were either similar sized or a little smaller. For me, it was like, oh my gosh, there are so many people in costumes that I recognize, and there are again people my age, and it was very free form. There was a lot of people gathering out in the park areas. Most people, it was mostly just getting together, being in costume, and screaming about your fandoms in public spaces. Glomp circles were I participated. I was young enough that I absolutely participated in Glomp circles for a couple years.
Were yaoi paddles still a thing too back then?
Give me
Oh,
1 second.
oh God.
You asked a very specific question that I have a very specific answer to because I happen to own one. There it is. Except I own the shiny version. I own a Yuri
Something
paddle.
that oh wow.
I
Something
own a
that
Yuri paddle because this was
wait, what's this say?
Yuri
No, soft course.
softcore side, and this is the official Hendane. I got these before they were literally outlawed
Yeah, I
from the
remember a
conventions.
lot of from stories I've heard.
Mhm.
a convention safety and awareness podcast I did a
Absolutely.
while back, how people would get hurt really bad due to glom
Mhm.
circles and yaoi
Uh-huh.
paddles and yaoi
Um,
yuri paddles.
I never witnessed anybody get super hurt, but we definitely, all of us, those of us we were all underage.
I mean
All of
that
us.
I mean that sounds about right.
And I just like, it was it was, I don't know how to explain it, because like at the time, like I was 15 when I bought this thing, and I thought, because like, hey, this is funny, and also I was actually into Yuri. I liked girl x girl. I loved women love, and that was not popular back then at all.
I mean,
And I
if
was
you're in high school, you're a weeb or an otaku, you would. I mean,
like,
I found out about yaoi through Kingdom Hearts fan fiction, but that's for another time.
the amount of Kingdom Hearts fan fiction I've read is, let's not talk about that another time.
Anyway,
Uh,
so
but yeah, that was,
you were attending KomoriCon in the days of Yuri yaoi paddles and glom circles.
I was, and it was the lawless early days. And I will say there are definitely things. I am glad that that paddles have been outlawed, because there definitely were some uncomfortable situations.
Oh,
Very uncomfortable, especially
no.
strangers outside of the convention asking us to paddle them, like strangers on the street. That was very uncomfortable, and we
Now
walked
it
the heck away real fast.
Nowadays it's being asked by a Lady Dimitrescu cosplayer to step on you or sit on you.
Exactly.
So they really haven't changed. It's just they're more the
Different
things of
style.
it's different styles of the modern convention
Hmm.
era.
Yeah, exactly. It's things have changed, and a lot of it has been for the better. Like
Oh no, I agree.
watching the, first of all, like my early costumes, my first chi wig was a $17 like floor length Lady Godiva wig that was terrible. The back half was completely knotted. I wore it for one half of a day before I got a better one. But even then, it took like, I think I bought four chi wigs before I found one, before the availability got to the point where I could afford one that wouldn't just be a rat's nest immediately.
A better
Um,
quality, like an Arta wig type one.
exactly. Arta wasn't around.
No, you had
It
to go on
was
Amazon or eBay
Cosworks,
or
Amphigory.
ooh.
Yeah, old school
You would like, is this
Amphigory.
like where the sizes were wrong or
No,
the
it's more
wording
like it
was in
was just,
Japanese?
so there, actually, that's a different one that you, I think, ordering from Taobao,
That's the
and
one.
there's other online places. But I didn't have that know-how. I was 15, 16, and I didn't have any kind of, I didn't have a credit card. I couldn't order things online. I'd have to beg my parents for it.
Mom, Dad, buy me
And
this wig that may not work.
it's one where it's like, I'm not gonna ask it, because it's like, hey, you know what? We didn't have a lot. A lot of my cosplays were, I went to Goodwill and I modified clothing, or my mom knew how to sew, so we would pick like one costume a year. She would help me make, and then when I was 16, I went, I'm gonna make my own because I don't want to bother you. So I made Red 13 and did full body paint with like
Oh,
fur half top.
From Final Fantasy 7.
Yep, I did a humanoid Red 13.
You did Nanaki. Nice.
Yeah, I love Nanaki, and I got real good at drawing those tattoos. I know those tattoos by heart because I hand drew them onto my body for like 5 years of going to
Did you do like
conventions.
the red body paint? You said you did the red body
Or I
paint
did
and fur.
orange, because red was just, it didn't look good, so I did orange instead to give that. And then I had red fur, which gave a really, I really liked. I still look back at those photos and like, yeah, that I like that still.
If anyone wants to know the color of Nanaki's fur, the red dress in the background is what his fur looks like.
Yes, it's almost exactly that. By the way, this is my mock-up for Elsa, my current competition piece project.
Ooh.
Mapping out things. But yeah, that was early days. I used Party City wigs. Like, I used whatever I could
Well,
to make
there's
stuff to
something
work.
wrong with that.
Yeah, heck, you can still use Party City wigs. Honestly, it was for a mohawk, so yeah, Party City wig's gonna be perfect for doing like a sticking up mohawk kind of animalistic style.
Nice.
And yeah, I still know
Um,
people who go to Goodwill. I still will go to Goodwill for shoes and jackets and pieces to add.
well,
So,
you kind of answered two of my questions, but I figure you can answer them further. For a cosplayer who's doing it for the first time or a cosplayer who's on a budget, would you recommend Goodwill thrift stores? Yard
Yeah, whatever
sales.
like thrift stores that you know are available. If you want to try and make your own costume like on a budget, I would recommend there's a lot of clearance areas. Also in thrift stores, there tends to be a lot of bed sheets for mock-ups. I know people who have made actual full historical outfits out of curtains and bed sheets because the amount of really heavy, good fabric you can find in a curtain is impressive. Look out for clearance areas if you're making stuff. I have honestly, don't be afraid to say, hey, is anybody have any fabric they just don't want?
Most likely.
Yeah, I use that stuff for mock-ups. The amount of like, I didn't pay for any of the fabric I used for this mock-up because friends were pretty much like, yeah, I'm getting out of the cosplay stuff. I don't have the space for sewing anymore.
Yeah, no,
Pass it on.
it's
If you
it,
happen to be in Portland, Scraps PDX has a lot of, cheap materials. They've got really random stuff. If you're a prop maker, someone who likes you want to like modify like a Nerf gun or something, go into a random artsy scrap store and find stuff to stick on it or to change it or to mess with
hmm.
it. Use trash. If you honestly, if you are on a budget and you want to make something, this amazing. I know someone who made Iron Man suit out of yoga mats and a pudding cup
It works.
because the inside, all you had to do because the inside of the pudding cup was like the perfect kind of weird shape for the
For
inside of his thing. Like,
his arc reactor.
yeah,
Nice.
for our, yeah, like look at the things around you. Like it can be done absolutely on a budget. And I actually, when it comes to mock-ups, it's like, yeah, I'll do the mock-up and like, all right, can I use this for lining if it's good enough? Like,
Another question I kind of answered. Advice for first time con goers. What advice would you give for that? And also, if would you recommend an exit buddy, someone to take with you to a con if you start getting nervous or
I'd
just
say always go with a buddy. I'd say first time Congoer, I kind of did the scary thing of going kind of alone. I had someone who had said that a friend who was gonna go, but then they decided not to go like one of the 2 days. So it's like, okay, I'll find people, or I kind of knew my way around cons. I was lucky in that. But if it is your first con, go with a buddy. Go with a buddy. I'd
can't
recommend
stress
someone.
that enough.
Yeah, I cannot stress that enough. Like, go with someone who's chill. Like, if you can find a buddy who also wants to cosplay, that is the best time. Finding someone, even if you're not cosplaying together, just someone else who wants to get into it, or another fellow nerd friend who, even if they don't want to dress up, because cons aren't just for cosplayers; they're for
No.
nerds of all types. They're fanfic writers, artists, all kinds of any kind of nerd. Just people who just subbers and dubbers alike.
As I put it on a because I'm having a merch store soon. I have a button and sticker that says for if you want a friend to go with you, it literally says convention exit buddy.
Yeah. And it is a good thing because sometimes cons can be overwhelming. So
Especially the bigger cons like
exactly, like
Moricon, NI
uh,
Expo.
weirdly, Komoricon doesn't blip as big because I started going to it when it was so smaller, and now I've gone to Emerald City Comic Con and Anime Los Angeles. Like some of the California cons are big, and their
Oh
Anime
yeah.
Expo is scary. I'll be honest. I went there once, and I think I would have to be paid to go again because it is too much for me to physically handle
I
in
saw I
July
see I
in
see
California.
I've seen video a while
It's in.
last month of a anime expo tour of the exhibit hall and holy
Mhm. Yeah, it
no.
is. When I was there the one time, it was like, yeah, it was sardines. I went
You're like,
there July of 2019. Yeah,
oh good God.
it was absolute insanity. I was supporting friends because they hold the WCS preliminaries there for World Cosplay Summit, which is an
Ooh.
international cosplay competition that is held in Nagoya, Japan. And
I
they
have heard
hold
of that.
they hold preliminaries, and they were also choosing I think they were actually holding the finals there that year. And I got to watch friends of mine win first place and get to be Team USA. um
Nice.
Awesome Bloodborne costumes, absolutely, just the amount of detail is what I strive for. Like, that is the, like, honestly, entering competitions is what started making me want to push myself and make me want to learn new techniques. And I found like this joy in finding other people who were also as wanted to learn new techniques and just nerding out for hours about weird old embroidery stuff and beating or the details and screaming about this character is going, why do you wear this, why? Because
Hey,
animation versus real life. So
Yeah, actually, you kind of answered again. You answered another question. Competition. What was it like when you before we go on to your cosplays and
Mhm.
everything else? What has it been like? What was it like entering your first cosplay competition? And what was the cosplay?
Okay, this is going to be interesting because there's a couple firsts here. Because my first competition was I actually was an extra. My friend Sage Bell needed someone to be an extra in her skit, and I was like, okay, I've got a Mokana Kigu thing. Yeah, I can be a summoned thing by the bad guy, sure, for magical girl thing. So that was technically my first competition, and it was really it was chill because I was there just hanging out with friends and it was like it was very low pressure, low investment. I had made my costume, but not for this. Like, and I got to hang out and I got to get on stage with one of my best friends. We are still very, very good friends. Like, still one of my best friends. Um, my first time actually competing, like, and something that I made that I did. I was in Australia. Um,
So you've cosplayed internationally then.
I have. This was I made a friend in Australia
Well, you're not there.
through
What I can tell you're not my first. Well, thank you for being another international cosplayer on this channel.
only very technically. Like I made a friend over there. I got to through we were Final Fantasy VII role play,
Ooh.
and I went got had enough funds from hey financial aid extra and just job lining up. It's like all right, the stars aligned. I'm going to Australia. So I went to Australia and went to two cons. First one was Supernova Perth.
I have heard of that. It's
Mhm,
a convention I heard about from a Geeking Out interview,
mhm. Yeah, so you say Supernova Perth was the first time I
and
competed in something that
that's one of
I
their
did.
biggest conventions too, if I'm
It
not
was
mistaken.
tiny. It
Oh,
was tiny because it's the west side of the country.
uh,
Because Supernova they have Perth, Melbourne. I think they had Gold Coast and Sydney. What I think there was a bunch of supernovas at the time. And I went to Perth, and it was interesting. It was fun. We didn't I entered in my Jane costume. We were doing Disney and or we were doing we were doing
Jane
Kingdom
Porter
Hearts specifically. And so we got a bunch of princesses and we did Kingdom Hearts characters. And I did Jane. I did the ball gown. It was my first ever ball gown.
from Tarzan.
Yeah, from
Okay,
Tarzan.
okay, I know
Mhm.
exactly. She has the parasol and everything.
Yep, I did. That was my first ever ball gown, first time really competing, and like we didn't win anything, but I had so much fun twirling around that stage. And I actually did my second time competing while I was in Australia. We 3 weeks later we flew to Adelaide to go to AvCon. Now that's the largest convention they had in the Southern Hemisphere at the time, largest anime con at least. And we competed in a Smash Brothers skit. I did Samus Aran, the
Nice.
skin tight zero suit
The blue
Samus.
suit with the
Yep,
heels.
yep, everything. And we choreographed a full Smash Brothers battle royale. I ended up with
Nice.
I was main choreographer, jeez. Words. um I'm really, really proud of that one. I still have that one saved on my YouTube channel.
Nice.
Um, and we ended up getting second place for our skit. And that
Nice.
was first time I ever won anything was there.
And you've also won in a different in a different country too.
Yeah, so I have won a prize in another country, and we had to stick that as a feather in my cap for the rest of my life. I was 21, my first time ever doing that. We ended up being 21. I ended up going to someone else's 18th birthday at a bar because the drinking age there is 18.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
had just turned 21 and I wasn't getting carded because I apparently looked obviously over 18. It was hilarious.
Nice. Now I kind of got since I kind of brought it up. I've noticed a good chunk of your cosplays. You wear like big heel shoes. What's it been like wearing heels for your cosplays?
Um, it's actually not too bad if you find the right ones. You'll see some of the photos I'll have heels on. I have flats in my bag always.
Okay, I think that's a good thing to
Yep,
recommend. Regular shoes.
absolutely. Have comfy shoes in your bag, whether it's tennis shoes, flats. I do ballet flats because I wear those all of the time. And I've been lucky enough. I've found if you find a pair of shoes that is comfortable and heels, cherish those forever, and make boot covers. Because like essentially because find comfortable shoes and make covers for them. I got super lucky and I found these like 5-inch wedge heels that I could wear for 6 hours solid and not be in pain because they were so comfy. I will use those and disguise those as other shoes when I need
I've
to.
seen people use them for like Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy.
Hmm. Like it's heels, they aren't too bad. And if you're not comfortable with heels, like go with the, if you but your character has like a tall heel, honestly, adjust the shoes. Don't worry about being accurate with your shoes in terms of height. I've cosplayed Monster High dolls. It's impossible. Um, Monster High and Ever After High, like that has trained me to just like, all right, get close, but your comfort is more important than cosplay accuracy. Like that, I think that's the main takeaway from cosplay shoes is your comfort's more important. If you want fun shoes for a costume, like have backup shoes,
Oh
and
no,
when
it
you
doesn't
yeah,
hurt.
and when you find comfy shoes, keep them and figure out boot covers or a way to cover, or a way to be able to maybe use those shoes if you like for height or whatever you need them for. I haven't had much. The worst I've had is I had my heel catch in my petticoat for Cinderella,
Oh no.
but that was not too. It wasn't too bad. Like it was fine because I was dancing with Michael Rooker, so I didn't care.
Oh, from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep, yep, yep. Uh, that's a whole other story.
Missed opportunity to dress up as Mary Poppins and dance with him.
I was Cinderella, and he said, my princess," came around the corner. His handler running after, going, "Oh no, he's off loose!" And he just grabbed me and started dancing. And I stepped on my dress at one point, and he just kept moving me, and I was sliding on the floor. It's like, this is fine. It's on linoleum.
You
It's
don't
fine.
care. You were dancing with Michael Rooker.
Exactly, exactly. I was dancing with Yandu. All is happy.
So, you and your girlfriend, have you guys done any couples cosplays together aside from Londa and Imogen?
Um, Not yet. We do want to do more of them. We've been crazy busy. There are definitely others that we want to do. Uh, we're still looking through because we have very different. Oh, actually, there is. We do want to do Bayonetta together. She has a Jean costume, and I would love to do Bayonetta with her.
Which version of Bayonetta? Bayonetta 1, 2, or the one that's coming out with 3?
I mean, I really love the floofy dresses, so I'm tempted by the one that's coming out. But I don't know. I'm playing through one right now. She's actually getting me to play the games. I'm playing
Good
through one
game.
right now. And I'm gonna play through two, and hopefully I can finish that before three comes out, and
Best
I can
of
like watch her play
all I have to
that.
say is best of luck when it comes to making her shoes with the pistols on the bottom.
Oh yeah, I've seen people do that costume. I've been like, all right, comfy heels and build around it. Or get some like those gravity heels, which I actually have a pair that I plan to turn
Gravity
into.
heels?
Yeah,
What are gravity heels?
they're heels where there's no heel. There is no solid heel, so it just goes. It's kind of a weird curve shape, and
I
there
am
is no heel.
I'm gonna have to. I feel like I know
um,
what you're talking about, but
it's
I
yeah,
have.
they're pretty much, it looks like they're people are just kind of floating, that their heels are just floating, but there's kind of a little bit of a platform on the bottom that goes back. It's just enough balance. I have a pair, and they're actually pretty comfy to walk in. I can run in them.
So
Yep, those.
okay, so they kind of look like something you use if you wanted to cosplay as a fawn.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
Okay,
so if you get those and then build the gun over it, the thing's already built to not put pressure on the detail
and
of
you're
the gun.
basically
So
using the gun as a heel.
exactly. And or
Nice.
honestly, I try to make it so it doesn't hit the ground so the gun doesn't get damaged.
That's also good. Now, aside from cosplay contests, what's it like been judging cosplay contests, being on the other side of the stage?
I have okay. That scare me is it's hard. I would say it's like that apprehension on my face. It's hard. I love doing it, but it is so hard not being able to give awards to every single amazing costume that I see because there are always so many. I don't think I've ever judged a contest where I didn't want to give out at least one more award to someone deserving. Um, I have learned so many techniques on my to learn, like I just try to learn, like, wait, how did you do that? Wait, oh my gosh, that's a clever trick. I didn't think of that. Like I love judging. I love like seeing people come in and then fawning over their costumes, and it's just being amazed at what people can come up with. Like someone who is a novice will come in and have something put together that's like, all right, it's not perfect, but they didn't, because they didn't have any knowledge ahead of time, they just went into it with whatever they thought would work. And it could be something completely out of left field from what you're supposed to do, but it works and it's clever. And sometimes I'll look at that and go, I'm doing that next time. Like sometimes the way, like I learned googly eyes as studs from a novice cosplayer.
Yeah, just spray paint them with
I
any
learned
color with
that from
spray
a
paint.
novice, and I learned that they come in giant sizes, and you can use those as chest gems.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the kind of stuff that I love learning, or seeing just different techniques of how people layering harnesses for wings, seeing all the different harnesses for people, and I love it. I love
There's
and
this
yeah.
one cosplayer I see. They do like an owl type cosplay, and they got the little feathers above their wig, and they have like strings and rings attached to where they can make it move.
Yeah. I've seen like I see that kind of stuff is just so clever, and it's like I wouldn't have thought of that, or because I've never gone to do that character, I haven't had to be like, okay, well, how would I make this? But then it springs something. It's like, oh hey, now I want to do that. Now I want to find an excuse to do this technique that I just saw someone blow my mind with.
I feel like either where you're competing or judging, you're always learning something new.
Exactly.
Um, have you
Being
ever
surrounded by other people who are just as passionate,
uh,
it causes it to happen.
have you ever won? Before I go to another question, have you ever won
Mhm.
any cosplay contest here in the States?
Yeah, a few. I've won a few.
What's your most memorable win for competition?
I think there's there's been a couple really big ones. I'm gonna go with two because one of them was a solo win. My very first time entering at Emerald City Comic Con, I entered Belle, and I got second in the needlework category. And that competition, that's biggest one I've ever been a part of. And it was getting on there, winning something in my big in the first major ball gown, like not my first, but it was I Belle was my favorite princess. Belle is my favorite Disney princess. So winning in my favorite thing is something that it was my original design of her, my take on her, and it felt amazing. Like I don't have words to describe like the wait, this big stage, they're calling me what like
Like you had to like, did you have to pinch yourself to make sure you weren't dreaming?
yeah, because like that's the kind of competition where it's like, all right, I'm honored to have been accepted into the competition, like before even winning anything. Like it's because you have to apply to get in to even go on the stage
And I know
with
there's
a
like a
large
lot of I know
portfolio.
there's like a lot of rules too, like a good
Mm-hmm.
chunk of your cosplay. Like, what's for ECC, I guess, what's the standard of like how much of your costume needs to be made by yourself to enter?
Needs to, I believe it's 75, but commonly it is 98%.
That's what I
Like
was like.
commonly 95 to 98. Like people who I know people who like it is most common things like, oh yeah, modified shoes, people who have wefted their own wigs, like stuff that people wouldn't think like, oh yeah, you totally buy that. Like no, no, because that is the like, so you generally have like novice, journeyman, and master, and so EC3, it's all master. If you're entering there, if you are there, you are master. You are a master competitor if you have gotten
Basically,
into
everything is
EC3.
like made by your so almost everything is made by
Yeah,
yourself.
and the more things they like, someone made a lute. The needlework. I think one of the big winners, the top three winners from this last EC3 made a lute, a playable, fully functioning lute. It's
That's
like the kind of
impressive.
stuff that you don't even think about like could be made is there, and it's absolutely fun. So getting to win on that, like winning anything on that stage, just that'll live forever in my heart.
Mhm.
And I think the one that I still is the most like, what is happening? How I absolutely did not believe this. Like it's legit. The memories from this one are a blur. Was Anime Los Angeles winning Best Craftsmanship and Best Skit, which had not been done for I think 7 years, because they split craftsmanship and skit, and it's you get best craftsmanship and a best, and they didn't announce master craftsmanship at the end. They didn't announce a best master, and they just moved on to skits, and we were all real confused. We were in we did a Legend of Zelda outfit. I did a full Mifa, like fish head Mifa,
Is
everything. We
that
had
the
side on and
red one?
yeah, the red fish lady. And
Okay,
then we had a
I
side
don't
on, so big fish husband, and then someone in the Zora armor for Link. We all
Nice.
built these costumes in under 2 months. I built mine in a month.
Wow. And
Um,
there's and if I'm not mistaken, Mifa has a lot of detail on her.
yes, like we beasted these costumes out, and all of us were, I think, a total of like 700 miles apart because one of us was in Utah, another in Colorado, and I'm in Oregon.
And the fact that you guys all met to travel. I mean, you were the
In
closest one to California.
Yeah, yeah, but we all went to LA, and we choreographed it in the hotel room the night before.
Like,
We
where are
put it
those
all
people making that
together.
noise up there?
We we like that was, I think that one is the that one felt amazing because it was a group effort, and the lead up to it was so hard.
Oh, I'll bet.
Like
Not to
that's one of
mention
those,
California weather is hot.
and also just the con crunch up to it. 'Cause I had surgery 3 weeks before the con, nose surgery to fix my breathing ability. So yeah, it was, and it was also during the holiday season because ALA is in January. So we were trying to make stuff during the holiday season.
And that's
Insane anyways. It was, the lead up was just, it took so much effort to just get there. I did 20 hours of work on that costume in California
oh, good
after
God.
we had landed, after we had gotten there. I did 20 hours of work on it, like in a hotel room, in my friend's house, like all-nighters kind of thing. Do not recommend. I do not recommend this at all. Like, please don't do what I did.
Don't con
Don't
crunch.
I don't recommend it. Sometimes it ends up happening, and I am very proud of what we did, and being called up for pretty much the big lead up, and we're just like, what? And we heard our name. I'm like, I did not know what we were going up for. I'm like, what are we going up for? And they said, what did we win? Both. Both what? And I legitimately threw up while on that stage. I
Like,
kept it inside, but I
oh,
did. I
oh.
absolutely
So
threw up in my mouth a
you
bit.
gotta swallow it. Oh,
Yeah, because you're on stage accepting a Best in Show award. It's like, this is the convention. So just to give an idea, so ALA, I talked about novice, journeyman, and master.
mm-hmm.
ALA, there will be 40 entrants total. 20 of them will be masters. That is unheard of in almost any other competition. Like, because it's that normally you're lucky to get with 40 people, you're lucky to get 4 to 5 masters
But the fact
at
there was
most.
20 was
And that's
impressive.
standard. That is normal because that ALA is, I want to say that's the testing grounds for international duos. That's where people will test their, like,
Metal.
yeah, see if the partnership will work, and if they make sure that they won't kill each other. Because big international competitions are stressful, and you have to make sure you have a partner that you have to
I mean,
know
and
how each other reacts to
you have
stress. And
experience in that too.
only a tiny bit. I've traveled, but I've never done it like as a specific like partner competition. But I have competed with partners. I've competed with Amy, or not. Yes, I've competed with Princess of Tea, Amy being cosplay me, and actually Elsa is for a try at an international competition because myself and Princess of Tea have worked together multiple times, and we know each other's habits, we know each other's idiosyncrasies, and it's, so now we've tested at multiple conventions, and now we're trying for in December at Holiday Matsuri. We're going to try for if they have international competitions, we'll go for that. If not, we're going to go for whatever they end up giving, because they tend to do a trip to the Netherlands
Nice.
or some kind of big trip.
Nice. So what kind of advice would you want to give for those who are wanting to compete and those who may get invited as a judge?
All right. So if you want to compete, do it. First, pick a costume that you love. Not necessarily, don't pick the costume because, oh, this will be impressive. Pick something that you are actually passionate about, because you're going to be working on it for a while. If you are a first-time competitor, honestly, just enter in the novice, make something that you do the best that you can, and go in with the goal of, I want to go in and show off. Don't go in with the thought of, I want to win. Winning is gravy. Winning is icing on the cake. Winning is extra. The goal, if you want to have like the best time, go in with the goal of I want to learn more. I want to make friends who are just as crazy as me to do this competition thing. And I want to get on that stage and show off and hear the applause because you will. You will hear the applause. And that is that is my lifeblood. That is my serotonin.
Win or
Getting on a
lose,
stage.
it
Yeah.
you know the fact that you're like doing something you never thought you'd be doing. I'm sure when you first did it, like you weren't expecting to like get that kind of reaction.
And I didn't win. Like my first I didn't win
And that
for
happens.
for quite a few times.
And that happens.
And I haven't actually won. I've entered quite a few competitions recently, and I haven't won in a while. And I've still had an amazing time. I have made so many friends, and I have learned so much, and I've pushed myself. So entering competition, you are not competing against the other people. No, you're competing against yourself. Competing against the last costume that you did. How much better are you than this last time that you did this? And so like if you want to level up, like you're novice or journeyman, you want to push yourself to that next thing, pick a costume you are absolutely passionate about. Do that dream cosplay. Even if you think you can't quite handle it, I like if you want to get to that next level, just try it. Even if it's not perfect, I can guarantee it'll be more fun than trying to find something that's like, well, this is kind of in my wheelhouse, but I'm not as excited about it. Like just try it, and if you make mistakes, then you learn from them and you'll do better next time.
No,
So that's
hardly.
best advice I can give for competitions. Judge side, go in with an absolutely open mind. You are going to see things that you have never seen. Don't disregard something just because you don't understand it. Ask questions. Like please ask permission before getting up close. Like if you like, there's been times where it's like, hey, can I check the structure of your hoop skirt? I'm gonna lift your skirts. Are you cool with that? Because that's a thing that happens in judging. Again, isn't if you feel comfortable. I like getting up close and personal because when you get to the master level, you have to get up close.
Check that fine detail, that stitching, make sure it's just right.
Exactly. Like and it's it's okay. Like sometimes it comes down to the smallest of things. I think there was one time when it came down to one person designed their own 3D model and the other person I think bought a base. That was literally what it came down to. The little things count, and it's I'm gonna say if you're judging something that doesn't have like separate categories like armor, needlework, special effects, it can be hard to try and compare armor to sewing. Um, if you don't know a material, like if you're a sewist and you're judging a piece of armor, ask more questions. Uh, or if there's someone else on the judging panel who does know more, either like ask them if they know more about it. Either like maybe after the cosplayer's gone, like hey, I noticed this. Is this normal? Is that like I try not to assume that I know. Um, I obviously I don't know everything. I'm not even in sewing. I don't know everything. I will never know everything. But these just go in with an open mind. Stay unbiased. And I actually honestly it is I am harsher on my friends because I know they can do better. I'll be full on honesty. And my friends are the same way. I
So
can't
you've judged your friends in before.
okay, you will. If you are a judge, if you've competed before judging, you will be judging your friends. It is a small world. It is a very small world. On that note, don't ever try and pull a I made this when you didn't on a judge. It's a small world. Again, I've had people try and tell me that they made something when they very obviously didn't.
You could
Like,
tell it was bought or someone else made
mhm.
it.
If you ever suspect something like that, ask specific questions. Like one way I was able to tell was someone had a very particular drop lining that I noticed, like a fold over lining that is very hard to do, and it's the same kind of thing that I see on my bought suit jackets. Um, and so I'd ask specific questions like, "How did you do this?" And anybody who managed to do that would be like, "Oh my gosh, this was a pain in the butt." Blah 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 blah. And when I get the answer of, oh, we worked really hard on that and it was really tough and no specifics.
Mm.
It's or it's sometimes like it is really sad to see because I want to see people have fun. I want to see people like coming in and not like trying to lie to like just be honest. If you didn't make a part of the costume, just say that. Because sometimes people will try to say that they made like the base when it's like, oh, they've made a ton of accessories and a ton of props and a ton of really cool stuff, but like they bought a suit.
I've
It's
seen a few of that
okay.
online. I've seen where
It's
people
yeah.
do that online.
That's okay. Like if you're entering the novice division, that is 100% okay. Just be honest about it. Like if there's enough extras to it, I know people who have entered a competition where it's like, all right, they bought their base suit, but made, an epic, gauntlet thing and a weapon and some wings. And it's like, that's freaking awesome. And that absolutely, I want to judge those things that you made. But if you try to lie to me, I can't.
Yeah, I hear no, I get
It's
that.
sad. It's one of those unfortunate things. And a friend has a funny story of having someone trying to say that they made something when it's something a commission, a costume that they bought off someone else that the judge had made. I know a judge who has seen their own work come in the room.
And they
I'm
try to pass it. They try to pass it off as their
mm-hmm.
oh.
I've heard that story from a friend, and
I believe it.
so if you're ever thinking of trying to do that, don't. So if you think, oh, it's handmade, I can say it's no. Like I said, it is
Save,
a
save,
small
save,
world.
save yourself the embarrassment and just be honest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Though I gotta. There's some part of me who's just this is like, oh, part of me kind of wants that to happen someday. Just. I
Like
want to know what that feels like.
someone like says they made something, but it's like, wait, I know that I made that
Just
like
be
last
like,
month.
look under here, over there. There's a this, that, and the other. How'd you know that? I made it. That's where I fucked up. I know where the fucks are. Because legit, if I made something, I know where all the problem spots are. Just,
Okay,
also, I
so
apologize if it's okay swearing.
yeah, at this point, I don't care.
All right.
At first I kind of like, please, like, if you just like keep it PG-13, say one F word, but at this point, it's unfiltered at this point. I don't care. So
I was like, I'm family friendly generally, but my streams are set to 18 plus, so I can say swears.
this channel itself is an 18 plus channel.
Sweet.
So
Or
one
fuck.
question I forgot to ask because I try to ask on occasion. If you're, and I know there are cosplayers who will like try to get their cosplay finished a day before the con at their house or at the
Mhm.
hotel. Would it not hurt to have a backup cosplay that's already been finished in advance, just in case you don't get that one cosplay finished that you so want to do?
Absolutely. That's actually one of the pieces of advice that I give. If someone's like, I really want to wear this costume to this con, I really, 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 really want to do it, but trying to finish it would just end them. It's like, bring a backup. Absolutely. Like have a costume either that you're okay with wearing for 2 days, like if you have multiple costumes for the days. Because I tend to do, one costume a day, most cons, because I have a lot of characters that I want to do. So it is, or maybe if it's a character that you really, really want to do. I know people who have just been not able to finish the full outfit, who have put together like a casual version of that, like closet cosplay.
And
Use
there's
like
nothing wrong with that.
yeah, make use of your cosplay. Like, cause I know sometimes it can be a lot of pressure to sometimes finish stuff if you're part of a big group or if it's something you've really been looking forward to. But sometimes life happens, illnesses happen, family emergencies. Sometimes you just mental health, physical health is more important than getting a cosplay done. So it's a if it comes down to where like you won't be able to finish it off, there's a few options. Either finish off the pieces that you have and wear what you have. If you have like maybe you've got the basic stuff done but not accessories, like wear the parts that you have if you really want to show that off. Option two, if you got maybe the wig or and the accessories or something, throw together a casual version. Like maybe you've got the wig and the weapon and a couple things. So just this character, but like modern AU or whatever you could maybe like something from your closet, so you can still join in the fun without having to completely give up. Or three, use another cosplay. Wear another cosplay that you have in your thing, or have maybe create a casual of that second cosplay that you were bringing. Or I'd say just your mental health and physical health is more important than cosplay. It is more important than being a part of that group know. And it like if it's a competition piece, then that and something just happens and you have to drop out, just contact the organizers, and generally if they're okay with it. Like life happens. Most organizers that I know used to compete as well. So
And that's good advice for baby cosplayers or cosplayers who are just getting into this.
heck, that's good advice for me cosplayers. I will
I-
forget that advice. Like we'll get so into it, think like, oh yeah, I can build stuff super quick that I'll get so into it. Just be like, yeah, and I'll schedule my time so tightly that if one little slip up, I'll end up missing and be like, well, all right. I just now I have the experience to know that okay, I need to cut this. Just being able to cut your losses earlier so that you can focus on something that might be focus on a backup that might be would stress you out less.
oh
Like
no. Lord.
knowing when to cut your losses, I think, is one of the more important skills that you learn as a cosplayer, especially if you're someone who procrastinates like me, because ADHD and
Oof,
just general
definitely.
yeah,
Now to
ADHD
my
chronic illness. Haha.
now to my favorite portion of these interviews, the cosplays you've done. Starting
Ooh.
off with, so what has it been like doing cosplays and adding body paint, and what have been some of your favorite body paint cosplays?
So I've been doing body paint since I was about 16 with the Nanaki cosplay. That's really where it started. And once I realized it wasn't scary, like painting my entire body for a con multiple times a year really got rid of the scary part of body paint for me. So because I know so many people who will just look at it and go, it's scary. I don't know. Might mess up. It'll be streaky. It'll be weird. Um, I I say like, yeah, okay, it'll be streaky and weird, and you'll do better next time. But like, I love the otherworldly characters. I love the changing myself so thoroughly that people don't recognize me, but while still having my face, because I'm very expressive with my face, and body paint lets me still be that, but be completely change. I like to think like in D&D terms, I would be a changeling. I love to be a changeling and just be able to shift. And I've loved the amount of more body paint and options that have become available. I think there used to be one, maybe two companies I could look for. Only one of them had bright colors, and that was Cryolan. And I think Mayron has started,
Good
becoming a
brand,
lot more accessible.
good
So good.
brand.
I use them like crazy. Actually, I just got a PR package from them.
Nice.
That I gotta get to play around with soon. But they are like the the accessibility of body paint has increased so much since I started doing it over 14 years ago.
Nice.
And honestly, I think Critical Role and between that and okay, Homestuck was the first one to really make body paint more
I've heard
popular.
I've heard stories of Homestuck body paints.
I have plenty of horror stories, but I will so that everybody's heard the horror stories, but I will say the thankful story from the Homestuck community is that they are the reason we have arm socks. They are the reason that people thought to start making tights into gloves to put over your
or
arms.
your feet.
Exactly. Like it is because of Homestuck and because people got so tired of doing the gray paint that Armstuck started to be a thing. And then Steven Universe expanded that, and then Critical Role, I think, really exploded and made body paint something that a lot of people wanted. At least that's where I saw it.
And Adventure Time.
Oh yeah, Adventure Time a little bit because there's a couple characters, but there was still plenty of main cast that wouldn't. And I know plenty of people who would do it without the body paint. Like when you're trying to be a tiefling or an orc or
There's
all
either
this
it's green or blue
these ideas or purple.
or per.
Like I
I've seen your Jester cosplay. And and you used all body paint, no arm socks or anything.
I do use arm socks for I didn't used to, but once I got a hold of some I've made myself three pairs of arm socks over the years, and I bought myself one from We Love Colors.
Good
And then
website.
I have another set from K Socks when they did their Kickstarter a long time ago, and I finally have those in. But I need to add fingernails too.
Nice.
Yeah, Jester is one of my favorites, and I do a lot of characters that are blue at this point because I have an original D&D character that I cosplay that is actually an official NPC in a hardcover book, which I think is totally awesome. That's just a happy nerd thing for me.
Nice.
Getting a character I made get published. Then I have actually been doing a Rainbow Tiefling series, and that's kind of where I really got into like expanding my body paint repertoire because I'd done most of the colors of the rainbow. up to then, but I hadn't. But they were like randomly. I cosplayed from Panty and Stocking many years ago as Scanty. I did She-Hulk. She-Hulk's which my absolute favorite Marvel superhero ever, and I will be absolutely feral when the show comes out.
You're gonna
Um,
are you gonna cosplay She-Hulk
abs-
as wearing her attorney outfit?
absolutely. Whatever outfit I can find that I can make quick enough, I am doing it because she is my
Nice.
favorite, and I have been waiting for this without even knowing it. I've been waiting for this
Yeah,
series my entire life.
I've seen a lot of your body paints, and I can attest to for someone who has worn body paint, people will like have to look twice just as is that who I think it is?
Mhm. And that's the part that I'm really proud of. And I've had a lot of fun like playing with more like bits of prosthetics, doing more like art. Like with the tieflings, I've been able to do like, okay, let's do extra tattoos. It's all my original design, so I can make whatever I want for those characters. And it's kind of it's been the thing that's just made my kept my creative gears going, I think. Just recently.
What's been your biggest body paint project that it took you longer than expected?
Molly Mock. I did that.
That's a lot of purple.
I only did that one
And
as a
and not to mention the
the
tail and the horn
tattoos.
and the tail and the
It's so
horns.
so that's actually no big deal. The tail, the horns, that's no big deal. It's his tattoos that go all the way up here and the tattoo down the arm. He has tattoos all over that are very colored, like a full peacock essentially that comes up on his face. That is like doing all the details for that one. I did that one on stream as a makeup stream, and I've never worn them to a con. I want to eventually, but I don't have like a fancy coat. I don't because their outfit is I believe the creator of the outfit said to the artist, make the cosplayers cry. And we did. The amount of embroidery on that coat makes every single cosplayer who wants to just Molly Mock cry.
Ooh.
But yeah, that is the one that's purple tiefling that took the longest amount of time just because I wanted to get as much detail as I could in those things. Also, I had to do scars all over my chest because it was all the way down,
Yeah, I'm looking
super
at
low
it.
cut.
I'm looking at it right now, Manny. There'll be an actual picture, but for those who
Hmm.
are wondering,
Yeah, so the amount of that one took a lot more detail. That was also the first cosplay I did that was of a non-binary character and giving myself a more masculine kind of look. And it was after that cosplay that I realized, I think I might be a she they in the terms of pronouns because they
there
feels
is
really good.
there
So
is
yeah,
nothing
yeah,
there is nothing wrong with that. Again, this series is inclusive. Everyone,
absolutely.
is allowed to be themselves.
That's actually one of the things I love that's beautiful about cosplay because like it was kind of a very quiet like oh hey yeah this is a thing for me, but I know so many people who have discovered themselves through cosplay in more in more big ways, like so many people who be like, oh hey, I'm going to dress up as not the gender I was born as, and go, wait a second, I feel comfortable here. And I know so many I over a dozen people that I've known personally who have been able to find that and being able to feel comfortable with themselves through cosplay and through the openness of the community and the level of acceptance in I think at least the cosplay community that I have encountered, which is generally in person. Like I'll say online, I can't say that it's going to be always the most positive, but from what I found at conventions in person, the conventions and cosplayers are some of the most welcoming places and people
Oh, they definitely
that I
are.
have met.
Definitely. So, on to some other cosplays. What was your very first major big build cosplay? I'm not sure if I asked that already.
Um, I mean, kind of Jane, but my first big build I want to say was Cinderella. That was the first cosplay that I saw it on screen.
Which dress? Her
The final big fluffy
oh, the
dress,
big blue one, the
the big
big
blue
bluish
one,
white one that she wears
the one that took
at the
I.
ball.
Fun fact: I made that costume for under $300, and there is over 100 yards of fabric in there.
Wow.
Yeah. So cost you can still make ball gowns on a budget. I've made a ball gown for $100 before. You get the right materials.
Oh man, how many
Um,
hours did you put into her?
Cinderella, I think was close to 200, 250 by the time I was done. which is now on the low side for me because the Queen of Hearts took 600
Which
hours.
is the thumbnail for this podcast.
Yes. Yes. That one was 600 hours over the course of like 2 years.
That took two. Wow, and that's been the longest one so far.
Yes, that has definitely been the longest. I mean, if you include planning, else is the longest. But because I've been planning this one for 4 years, literally since the movie came out. But then we were gonna compete in 2020. Enough said.
So I was looking at your Instagram and I saw probably one of my favorite characters from one of my favorite games. What was it like making Tali Zera Vas Normandy?
Oh, one of my deep, deep
What,
cuts. Oh,
what was
that's
it
a
like
deep cut
make
because
what was it like
that
making that Quarian?
that
Everyone's
was my first ever armor.
everyone's favorite drunken Quarian.
I love her so much. Well, so I have Kila Salai tattooed on my foot with the Paragon symbol.
I believe it.
She is my favorite. She's my favorite character. So yeah, funny thing, her and Jester's accent are very similar, and I think I have a type.
Wait, her?
Talizora Vas Normandy speaks like this. It's a lot like Jester, but it's a bit more no, her
I'm
voice.
familiar
But
with
Jester's voice is much more like this and a
I'm
little bit more fun,
familiar
but it's
with
very similar.
emergency induction port lady.
Emergency induction port. I
It's
actually
called a straw telly.
so, so Tolly was a passion build. Was the I don't have the skills for this, but I adore this character. Let's do it. And that was a costume that really pushed me. It was my first time ever working with Warbler. I made every single mistake you could possibly make. I managed to get it together for SoccerCon. I was king for cosplay chess, so they hooked me up with a lavalier mic, and I spoke with that accent for 3 solid hours. Ordering chess pieces around the board because SoccerCon does cosplay chess, where the kings control their pieces, all that.
I have seen that before, yeah.
And that's my favorite event. That's my favorite event at SoccerCon. Period. Always and forever. So I made Tolly primarily for that, and I got custom spoonflower fabric. I burned the heck out of my calf. I like had a scar for 6 years from burning myself.
Oh,
From that one. She was a labor of love.
I believe it.
Emphasis on labor, and she fell apart as soon as I took her off in the hotel room.
Oh no.
You cannot pee in that costume.
No.
You cannot without getting completely naked. And
no.
once I was naked and out of it, I wasn't getting back into it.
No, I mean would you say she was kind of a one and done, or would you say you would want to redo her again?
I want to redo her. Like
ever since her face,
yeah.
ever since you've played the
I've played all the things.
You've played the legendary edition, right?
Yes, I did. I played it on stream even.
And they and they redid her face in the picture that you're giving her. Would you ever consider like doing her makeup as well underneath her?
Thing is, that's the kind of thing I would do for a photo shoot, not necessarily a convention. Because a convention, having worn that thing, it's like, oh no, I can do, unless I do alcohol based paints. No.
No, I know, I get
But
it.
yeah.
I've seen someone recently on TikTok. They made a Telly's Raw cosplay, and they made it to where the little ring on her helmet lights up when she talks.
Yep, I put a little finger light that you like the kind of thing you could raise and put on your finger. I put that inside mine and turn that on and off to make it wasn't sound activated, but that was my version, my attempt, because it was literally like 2 layers of Warbler with a plexiglass frame that a friend of mine, a Midnight Armor, Jesse Loggers, he was on Heroes of Cosplay back when that was coming out.
Wait, who?
Jesse Loggers. He did Midnight Armor is their costume name. They were like the steampunk stormtrooper on Heroes of Cosplay.
Man, that show
many years ago. I was at that con.
That's actually how I found out about cosplay 14 years ago.
Well then, I was at the Wizard World that was filmed at both seasons. I was there. Man. I had to sign a waiver to be on screen.
That show, I'm like said, that show got canceled, but that I feel like that show, no offense, kind of showed an ugly side of cosplay as well at the same time.
From the stories that I've heard, that's a whole nother tangent. Like I've heard so many stories about that show and the behind the scenes, but I'm not gonna. I didn't sign an NDA. I don't have to keep secrets, but it did not show cosplay in the way that it truly is. Like our competitions backstage, everybody's friends. Everybody, like, we're all encouraging each other. The cheers from backstage will be louder than the ones in the audience sometimes.
Well, because you're like right there.
But also it's like we will cheer for the winners who aren't us so loud.
Nice.
Because a lot of times we're back there going, oh yeah, that's gonna kick my butt and I'm gonna like it.
Yeah.
Because yeah, once you get to a certain level, that's just kind of the mentality that I have.
Nice.
Yeah, like yeah, Tolly
A
was
labor of
fun,
love, though.
labor of love, absolutely exhausting.
Aside from
I
breaking
still have the
apart,
suit. I could still wear the base suit. The base suit I actually would reuse.
her like skin suit type.
Yeah, like
Nice.
I'm very proud of that one. I learned spandex with that costume, and I'm pretty darn proud of that one. I custom
Nice.
painted it and everything.
How long did I think I asked? How long did she take? Because I know that there's like a lot of intricate
Um,
pieces on her.
that one wasn't for. That was another one that I ended up having to make a little quickly. I think I did that one in a month. Yeah,
Jeez.
I had to do that one fairly quickly. Yeah, and I had the help with just he helped me mold the plexi. He had a vacuum former, so he helped me mold the plexiglass piece over the purple plexiglass. That was the
Mm.
hardest part.
Well,
That's the part that I would definitely redo.
shout out to what was his name? Jesse?
Yeah, Jesse,
Nice.
awesome guy,
Um
real life pirate.
I think I've seen does he have like a beard or something?
Yep, big. Yep,
And he had a
fairly
girlfriend
well
and he had like
mustache.
a girlfriend named Chi Chi?
Chin,
Yeah, I know.
chin.
Okay, now I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm
Nice.
talking about.
Yeah, I loved his Thorin Oakenshield
You.
cosplay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that was freaking amazing. Yeah,
Um,
see, yeah, again, it's cosplay. It's a small world.
it's smaller. I mean, hell,
Mhm.
had a chance to meet a lot of people. What's the one cosplay that you have not done in so long? Aside from Holly, what's the one cosplay you've not done in so long that you would love to bring back?
Weirdly enough, Nanaki, Red 13. I I adored wearing that costume. I felt powerful wearing that
Especially know
costume.
what you know now, you can add a lot more. Especially now that
Exactly,
he's
like
part of the now that he's was reintroduced in the remastered.
exactly. And I think I'd want to make something that's a bit more like a bit more covered for one. Just for my own comfort.
Kind of like almost like a fursuit.
No. I see. I'd want to do something still humanoid, but something with more tribal influences. I get to feel
Hmm.
from my own heritage. I have native heritage, and I'd want to pull from that if I could to influence because Naki is the leader of a great tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
those I want to build something that has my aesthetic but has some minor influences from that part of myself because I think one of the reasons I love Nanaki is that they were from tribal people who were being taken advantage of, and they fought back and they never gave up.
Mm-mm. No, they did not.
Like
Uh,
yeah, they're the cat character and they're the freaking wisest of the group.
I
Good head on their
agree.
shoulders, like.
I agree.
Mhm.
Um, what's a one and done cosplay? Was a cosplay that you've done once and you're just like, nah, I never want to do this again. Whatever the reason was.
um that one's actually kind of hard because I like even the ones that are one and done are one like okay, if the right group came along, I'd do it again. But I think weirdly enough, Shion from the time I was reincarnated as a slime, that suit, I hate those pants. I hate tight pants. I hate tight pants. I'm very proud that I managed to make that outfit look like the thing, but the number of times that I went, why? At a simple suit jacket.
Is that the one where you were wearing the purple suit and had the one horn?
Yes, so actually, I think in the thumbnail they do have there's the can version that
Yeah,
I made.
you and
That I
cosplay
will,
you and
yeah,
cosplay me did. I saw
uh-huh.
really well done by the way.
So I still that skirt and corset, I turned that into Can Evie. So I'll still wear that outfit, but Shion is one that's a character that I adore that character. Their aesthetic is fun, but without the group, I don't think I'd ever wear that costume on its own. Like
It's
without at
it's one.
least Amy in Shuna,
Yeah, you guys did a
it's
really good job on that one, by the way.
yeah. I had a lot of fun. I mean, I'll wear those can skirts till the day I die. I wear that at Ren Fair. I include that. I turn that into part of my Mushroom Witch outfit because I love that skirt. 'Cause purple's my favorite color. So having a can
Nice.
skirt in purple is like that's gonna be in my rotation forever. Yeah, the suit jacket and everything. That one's a unless someone requests it specifically for a group. I don't think I'll ever wear that again. I mean, I've already scavenged from the wig, so I'd have to make a new wig anyway. I stole the back wefts from the wig to be a part of my Espeon wig. So
Nice. Um, any of your cosplays aside from the Atale one, any cosplay missteps like something ripped, torn, fell off, whether you were getting ready for the con, at the con, or it was after the con.
how about on stage?
That too. That technically is at a con. So what was the
Um,
cosplay mishap on stage?
because I've had little things rip. I've had little mishaps happen. Like shit happens.
It does.
But I think the only time that it's actually truly panicked me. Okay, there was one time where my crotch ripped when I was in Nanaki, and that one's rough because I can't wear underwear in that costume. Um, I managed to get to the hotel room to sew it up in time, but it was, yeah, industrial thread, friends, industrial strength thread. But
No one wants to get flashed to the con.
no, and it was more of the, it was immediate panic as soon as cause it was like half of the seam rip, and I was like,
Yeah.
yep, all right, no more squat poses today. But the biggest mishap I've had is I almost flashed people when I was on stage. I was doing a Vocaloid skit. It was my first time ever actually doing a skit that was my idea. I put it together as, all that stuff. And I had to change. I had three quick changes because I kept the whole premise of the skit was that I was jealous of these women in this guy's life that I liked. So he's like, "Oh, I love you. Oh, there are women around you. I should get rid of them." So I would kill them and take their clothing, so I could become more like the kind of woman that he wants. Because if I dress like them, totally, it's absolute serial killer. Insane. I love it. I work a haunted
Yandri.
house, so I work haunted houses, on the side too. So like I love the creepy stuff. So the first thing I had to do was change kimono. So I had to get out of my entire obi and kimono and throw on another kimono and put on the old obi. The old obi would not stay on. The Velcro on it was absolutely terrible quality and would not stay on. So I just had to hold my thing closed and just pray that when I sat on the ground, I didn't flash the audience in my kimono.
No, this isn't a burlesque cosplay show.
No, no, no. Luckily, the obi that I stole, that one was actually properly made because I'd gotten that one craftsmanship judge, so that one was really solidly made. So that one went on pretty well but yeah, I very nearly flashed people, and they started laughing when it was supposed to be a dark skit, like a super dark, I'm killing people skit. They started laughing, so I'm like, all right, let's ham it up. No, again, hey, we ended up winning best in show, so
Nice.
I'll take it. Hamming it
Um,
up worked.
it sounds like it. Kind of add on to that. Any funny, embarrassing, awesome moments at cons aside from nearly flashing the entire
Nearly flashing entire
competition.
convention, almost puking on stage. Uh, See, at this point, I don't get embarrassed anymore.
Any like favorite moments, I should say. So like your top three favorite moments while
Oh
attending
man.
conventions or just cosplaying in
Some
general.
of these happened in hotel rooms whilst very intoxicated, and I cannot talk about those.
No,
Um,
that was gonna be that's gonna be safe for a podcast panel
because
talking about and
because
funny
really my
moments.
favorite is this, as just like favorite times at cons are just when I'm in the quiet spaces late night with my friends after all the craziness, and we're just talking about random stuff. Like those are like there's no like I don't remember what we talked about, but I just remember the feelings then. Like those as an overarching, that's just those the back of a hallway, you got like six, seven people maybe just hanging out, intoxicated or no, just whether or not you're exhausted from the con, so you're just laying down, got kind of a cuddle puddle somewhere.
Yeah.
It's or just it's meeting back at someone's hotel room that is way overstuffed. Oh, on that, I just found my story. This is one of the most kind of the geez, this is a pain in the butt, but also one of my weirdly best memories. KatsuCon 2018 or 17, 17, I think. It was the year that the hotel caught fire and we had to evacuate into sub-zero temperatures. It is February in DC. We are at the Gaylord in Maryland. DC, it's around that area. Oh, those states are so tiny and close together. We passed through three of them while we were there. It was weird. So we were I was in Cinderella. There was a bunch of us in Cinderella costumes. We had Godmother, Tremaine. Those are my friends were dressed in there, and then multiple Cinderellas and a bunch of other just random costumes. And we're like, oh, why? There's an alarm going off, and we have to go outside and what now? And because we knew it had been cold coming in, but it's like, all right, it's like it's 3 minutes from the hotel to the place, and we're fine. We're having to evacuate, and it's cold to begin with, but there's also wind chill. It's like 35, 36 degrees out there,
Oh,
like Celsius
jeez.
or Fahrenheit. Geez, yeah, Fahrenheit. And then we go out there, and the wind chill gets it down to like 10 or 20,
Oh,
like
God.
in that area. And there are people who are out here in like Guilty Crown cosplays and like
No!
Pearl from Steven Universe, and we're like, get over here. And we're like taking our ball gowns and wrapping them around people as we're just
What
like,
are you
get over here. You
thinking?
stay warm.
No
Pre-panini times. We
judgment.
can all
No,
snuggle with strangers and no one's worried. Um,
no judgment, but
it's
wearing like outfits like that, you're asking to have freaking freezer burner.
thing is when you've planned a group with all your friends who only go to this one con, because KatsuCon is one of those cons where people from all over the country will attend because it's a big, it's exciting con. The venue is
It's
gorgeous.
like Dragon Con.
Yeah, it's very similar to Dragon Con in that. And so it's one where it's like, and I know about you who were like Undertale cosplay. Poor Undyne in the Undertale cosplay. My
Mm.
friend has a story from they ended up taking refuge in their car. We call that story Undercar. Because there's a bunch of Undertale cosplayers just climbing into a car because Undyne was turning actually blue.
Oh
And
no.
no, we ended up huddling together for warmth in kind of a ball gown huddle. And then we kind of shuffled through over to one of my friend's hotels, and we managed to fit 7 ball gowns and 3 other cosplayers into one hotel room.
Oh God.
There were like
Make it like Bilbo's house
we
in
had 3
The Hobbit.
Cinderellas, a Tremaine, a Godmother, a Chi.
Surprised no one
Like
started singing and dancing.
if we had if there was room, there was literally no room. We were on beds and floors
Oh
and
God.
like
Just
because it was
now I know how Bilbo felt in
yeah,
The Hobbit.
right exactly. It was very much like the Hobbit, like scratch
Oh God.
scratch the porcelain grind. That's what Bilbo
Okay, so
Baggins.
two more questions before we end this. Future cosplays. Three cosplays you're looking forward to making later down the road, or in the process of making, aside from your Elsa
Mhm.
one.
Okay, but say we already talked about Elsa. So one of the so I have a cosplay actually I'm really excited for. I'm excited for my KimuraCon costume. It is going to be okay, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna make Rosalina for something for KimuraCon, and it's got some special bells and whistles to it that I'm not gonna spoil, but it's got some fun elements to it that's gonna make it special.
Ooh.
So another Mario cosplay to add to my list because I've done Peach, Bouette, and now I'll be Rosalina. Um, I have okay, actually, so that's the only one that I really major one. I mean, I want to do the rest of my rainbow tieflings. I have some fun like just I want to make more just fun outfit pieces, and that's kind of what I played with the next big build that's kind of on my heart for pretty much the next time I feel like doing all right. Next big competition piece is going to be Sakizo's Arachne. And I've actually been gathering materials for that one
Who's
for
that
about 2
from?
years. Sakizo, so they're an artist. This isn't from any anime. It's not from anything. It is an artist. Sakizo, Z-O-U.
Suck. So.
And Arachne. It's kind of this beautiful, like Victorian style outfit, intensely bustled and jeweled and bedazzled. That, and it's got the legs. I want to make moving legs. I
That
want to
is
make moving
gonna.
legs.
That's gonna be a.
That's
Good
that's because the fabric parts are things that I
luck
know how to do.
good luck going in elevators or escalators.
If I can manage it with the Queen of Hearts, which is a PVC pipe hoop skirt that literally does not squish, I have to turn it on its side to go through doorways. I can manage. The plan is to make it so that they can kind of come in and be kind of down and be just about
That
here.
may be your biggest project yet.
It will be. I have been planning this one about as long as I've been planning Elsa. because once the queen was starting to get to the end, I kind of was picking out my next competition piece, and I wanted to do a Sakizo for years. And this one, like the amount of detail, and I get to do all these different shades of black and gray and extra beading details for webbing. And there's a bunch of techniques that I want to try because like the sewing base is something that I can absolutely handle. The thing that I'll be learning is the mechanical of the legs, and I want to push myself in that direction since I've been pushing myself so hard in the sewing direction. Let's do some mechanical, some SFX, and maybe if I do it right, I can do TwitchCon's larger than life category.
Nice. So one more question. Any last minute advice to those who are listening to this, just in general that you want to throw out there?
When you're at a con, hydrate. Hydrate before you dehydrate.
Energy drinks aren't a
No,
source of food.
Legit, please budget for food. This is a mistake that I legitimately made when I was younger. Budget for food or pack snacks. Pack like little granola bars, something, because we all get caught up in the cosplay and the excitement and that part of it. Just you need to take care of yourself too, because otherwise that post-con crash is gonna be that much worse.
You're gonna be feeling sick and like shit.
Exactly. So just get like snack on things, hydrate, and like budget for food. And in terms of cosplay, just do it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you mess up, you will learn more from your mistakes than you will ever learn from doing it perfectly the first time. So just do it. Like that's all I can say. Cause like try it. Like don't think that, oh, I want to, I wish I could. Just try. Like take some old, like if you want to just start like a fun, if you don't, maybe cosplay, there's no specific character that you love, but you want to dress up with something fun. Like go into your closet and start, messing with your clothing, see what random things you can throw together. You can throw spikes onto anything. Like what can you make to do, like drape some fabric on? What can you add flowy capes to things? Like it's
or like what you learned, googly eyes turn into rivets.
exactly. And play like a kid going into your mom or dad's closet.
Which you did, I'm sure.
Exactly. Pretend you're a kid going into, other people's closets and putting together other random things into cool outfits. Like it's a lot of fun. It's amazing what you can find. And I will say if conventions, like I know a lot of people like conventions have been harder. I do the Ren fairs a lot. If like outdoor events and very open with wear whatever the heck you want, because people show up in anything from normal clothing to full on winged massive costumes.
Oh yeah.
I've been working the Ren fairs for the past 3 weeks, so it's kind of on my mind.
Nice. Well, I think
Yeah,
that
just
should
do it.
no, I agree. I think that should do it again. Sam, thank you for coming on for Cosplay Contacts. Get to know that cosplayer, sharing your cosplay experience and convention experience. And this will most likely be out in December.
Oh, fantastic.
So that works. And always, everyone, I'm Wayne the Unknown. Thank you for listening to this episode of Cosplay Contacts. Get to know that cosplayer. As always, thank you for listening. And until next time, thank you for watching.